gone dark for the first time in 90 years. Lake Mead has dropped to 953 feet, 3 feet above the elevation where the turbines physically die. Las Vegas has banned outdoor irrigation and drained the fountains on the Strip. Arizona has cut farm water allocations to 9% of normal. 40 million Americans across 7 states get their drinking water from one river, and that river is barely there. The Bureau of Reclamation used a word in writing that no federal agency uses without lawyers in the room: Deadpool. But here is the detail that tells the real story. The water managers who pulled the kill switch on Hoover Dam on April 9th did not call it an emergency. They called it a foundational system failure. The bathtub ring on Lake Mead is now visible from satellites, 10 stories of missing water carved into the canyon walls. And the snow on the Rockies that is supposed to refill it this spring never arrived. The mountains are bare. The turbines are silent. And the people in charge of the largest water delivery system in the continent are admitting on the record that the climate the system was built for no longer exists. The countdown to April 9th was not a surprise. It was watched. On April 1st, Lake Mead sat at 953 feet. The minimum power pool elevation is 953 feet. That is the entire margin between a functioning dam and a dead one. On April 4th, the Bureau of Reclamation convened an emergency briefing with water managers from Nevada, Arizona, and California. One senior engineer in the room described it later as the quietest emergency session he had ever attended. Nobody argued. Nobody pushed back on the data. They just looked at the numbers and understood what they meant. On April 7th, the United States Geological Survey released a secondary analysis that carried the weight of a verdict. Without significant unforeseen precipitation, which the National Weather Service rates at less than 3% probability before June, Lake Mead reaches deadpool elevation by late summer. Deadpool is not no power. Deadpool is no flow. The Colorado River physically stops moving through the dam at all. On April 9th at 10:47 in the morning Mountain Time, the Bureau formally suspended hydroelectric generation. The turbine spun down, the power output flatlined. 90 years of uninterrupted operation through World War II, through the post-war Vegas boom, through every drought the 20th century.
It's being traded on the Dow Jones too. That's the stock market, you all. Water is now being traded on the NASDAQ just like oil. Okay, it is. Look it up for yourself. It's not going to be free anymore. We already pay for it anyway when you pay a water bill. It's being traded on the Dow Jones too. That's the stock market, you all. Water is now being traded on the NASDAQ just like oil. Oh.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public